Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 28th and 21st April 2025. So let's get started with our discussion, guys. And now let us see the articles. And actually in our today's newspaper, most of the articles are repeated, guys. Already we discussed those topics in our earlier class. For example, we discussed about this WACC bill, right? It got assent of our president also. And one more article that I find is about delimitation and what are the concerns of southern states. And even Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin, he wrote an article which is regarding that same thing, that is cooperative fertilizer. Okay, so all those things that we discussed, but what are the things that we have not yet discussed in our class, which are very important from your mains and prelims point of view, we are going to have discussion now. Okay, focus guys. So let us see the first article. So see the title, guys. 5 feared dead in Jammu and Kashmir in cloudburst havoc. So what is the keyword? Keyword is cloudburst. So cloudburst is a concept where you will be seeing in your syllabus of UPSC. In GS paper 1 under geography, you will be seeing this topic. So which is part of your world geography. So wherever you are studying about your atmosphere, temperature, low pressure, high pressure, formation of clouds. So there you will be seeing this concept of cloudburst. Okay. And next one here is, because of this cloudburst, how many people died? 5 people died in this present article. That means it is causing loss of life and as well as loss of property. So can we add this topic in our GS paper 3 under disaster management? Yes. From disaster management also we can see this topic. So what are the things that you have to see from your geography point of view? So the word which is there, the first word is cloud. So you have to see about what is a cloud. First of all, you have to know about what is a cloud. And next in your geography, you'll be studying about different types of clouds. And this different types of clouds is very, very important for your prelims, guys. So we have like low altitude clouds, medium altitude clouds and high altitude clouds. And there also we have different names like stratus clouds, cumulus clouds, cirrus clouds, cumulonimbus clouds, nimbus clouds, like that. So you have to see each and every type of that so and so cloud and what is the specific characteristics of that cloud. Okay, for example, if cloud is horizontally, okay, it is horizontally very, very long, means it will be covering more amount of area. But what about the intensity of rainfall? Intensity will be very low. But if this cloud is like this, so what happens? It will be covering only this much area, very less area. But what about the intensity? Very, very huge. And this type of clouds will cause us this cloudburst. Clear? So because of this, the types of clouds is very important to understand what is this concept of cloudburst. Okay, and next we have to see about even the process of formation of this clouds. For example, what is the humidity, what is condensation, what is dew point. So all those minimum small concepts that you have to know. And from this topic cloudburst, you have to understand what is this cloudburst. And here in the cloudburst, you have to know exactly the definition, which is given by IMD, or it may be given by World Meteorological Organization, WMO. IMD and WMO will be giving definitions for this kind of concepts. So you have to see clear-cut definitions and you have to make a note of that for sure. And this one here is, you have to see about in India, which parts of our country are getting affected because of this cloudburst. So now it happened in this Jammu and Kashmir region. And recently it happened in Uttarakhand region. That means this region is very much vulnerable to this cloudburst. Okay, and even you have to see what is the impact of cloudburst, what happens because of this cloudburst. Suddenly if there is a very, very huge rainfall. So I want to give you a small example like how this cloudburst will be. So have you ever played with this plastic rubber balloons if you have filled with the water? So if you're filling a balloon with the water, if you're pricking it once, what happens? Water will be coming out all of the sudden, right? So the same way in the cloudburst, the water will be falling all of the sudden from this cloud. That causes this cloudburst. So whenever that much huge amount of water is coming within a very less time span, what happens? It will lead to the increasing of floods, right? Floods may happen. And even if there are like any houses which are built which are not stable, means it will causes the collapsing of houses. And because of this collapse of houses, what happened? People who are present in that regions will be died. So here you have to see what is the impact of this cloud burst, and you have to see the vulnerable regions of India. And very important thing, you have to see about DM cycle. That is nothing but disaster management cycle. So in this cycle, what we have pre-disaster steps, during disaster, and post-disaster steps, right? So before this cloudburst happens, so how we can prevent it? For example, if you have any satellite, or if you are having any sensing things or sensors which are sensing about this event, we can give warnings for the people, right? So this may happen, so please be careful. So if you're giving that kind of warnings, what happens? The death of the people or loss of life of the people will be minimized. And during disaster, what are the steps taken by the government? And after disaster, then what are the steps taken by the government? You have to see all these three areas from this cloud burst point of view. And if you do this, then it is okay. And next here, one more important area that you can add is environment and ecology. Why environment and ecology? Now what is happening? There is climate change. Especially there is increasing of global temperature, global warming. So because of this global warming is happening, then what happened? Humidity in the air will be high or low? High. So whenever there is high humidity, what happened? There will be the formation of clouds. Clouds formation will be happening at a rapid pace or less pace? Rapid pace. So because of this climate change also, there is increasing of events of cloudburst. So from that point of view also, you can think about this, guys. Okay, so all these are the areas that you have to focus from your cloudburst. Now let us see in detail. So what happened? The recent cloudburst and flash floods happened in which area? Jammu and Kashmir. Note down somewhere. So recently in geography also you had done with this cloudburst, right? So there itself write down that recently cloudburst happened in Jammu and Kashmir that led to the death of 5 people there itself. So like that, if you are combining this current affairs and static, then whenever you are writing that answer, you will be not missing the examples for substantiation of your answer. Okay, so in this way you have to update your book. Okay, so because of this, what happened? At least 5 lives they had been lost, and also hundreds of are being stranded, and rescue operations are going on in this region now. So if you see some facts regarding this cloudburst, please make a note. So according to IMD, that is Indian Meteorological Department, IMD, here 100 mm of rainfall. What is a cloudburst? Cloudburst is nothing but 100 mm of rain in an hour. Within 1 hour, if there is 100 mm of rainfall, it is called as cloudburst. So as I said, whenever this cumulonimbus cloud, that is vertical cloud which happens, rainfall which happens in a very small area, small geographical region, there is around 20 to 30 square kilometers of area will be getting this rainfall, not more than that. And tall cumulonimbus clouds, so which you may get this kind of questions. Which of the following clouds causes cloudburst? That is cumulonimbus or vertical clouds causes this cloudburst. And here, what are the challenges we are having? So can we predict this cloudburst? No. That is the one important problem. Why we are not giving warnings to the people, guys? So cloudburst which happens in a small geographic area, that is around 20 to 30 square kilometers, it is making them very, very difficult for our satellites to detect this kind of event, because it is causing in a very small area. If it is causing in a very large area, yes, we can easily identify that by using our remote sensing and observation satellites. But it is a one important challenge that we are having with identifying of this cloudburst. And the ground-based monitoring stations are also present, but they are also struggling to capture cloudburst characteristics because it is a very localized phenomena. And this one is we are also having multiple weather radars, but timely updates you are not giving. And if you want to identify the localized events, we need to have the still more precise technology. So if you want to get that technology, is that easy? No. We have to invest a lot. This is also one important problem of lack of funds. Okay, so I said that because of climate change also there is increasing of intensity of cloudburst, right? So here make note of this data. So climate change is anticipated to increase both the frequency and intensity of cloudburst. So because of this climate change also there is increasing of cloudburst is happening. So actually there are some reports which are saying that if there is at least 1 degree centigrade of rise of your temperature, then what happened? There will be increasing of cloudburst like events. And actually there are some projections which are saying that further temperature increase of 1.5 degrees during this 2020 to 2040 and 2 degrees centigrade between 2040 to 2060, that will leads to the increasing of cloudburst in our country. Okay, so for this, to control this cloudburst also, what we have to do? We have to control the temperature. So we have to use technology for decreasing of carbon dioxide emissions. That is the thing that you have to see. And now let us see the next article, guys. See the title. Vande Bharat trains have weak defenses against even cattle, says new safety report. So what this article is talking about? It is talking about one important train in our country that had been recently launched. The name of that is Vande Bharat. Okay. So what is the keyword? Keyword is Vande Bharat Express. So here it is one example of railway service in our country, right? So it is important from your GS paper 1 under geography, and even it is also an example which comes under infrastructure, right? Which comes under GS paper 3 under economy. Okay, so from GS paper 1 under geography, you have a chapter called as modes of transportation. In that modes of transportation, which kinds of modes that you will be reading? We have roadways, railways, we have waterways, airways. So recently, I think on Saturday, we discussed one article regarding our transportation or logistics in our country. So what is the thing that we discussed? We discussed that. So most of our greenhouse emissions and carbon dioxide emissions, they are coming from this logistics sector, right? So for that, we discussed there that we have to go for using of renewable energy sources and we have to decrease carbon dioxide emissions from this area. So actually here in trains, normally we are using coal, right? So now recent step that taken by our government of India is electrification of trains. And whatever the outdated engines are there, like our railways, so we are exporting it to the African countries. So that is a recent update, right? So here actually you have to see about railways. Okay, in track we have different kind of tracks, like 1 meter track, narrow gauge, 1 meter gauge and broad gauge. So you have to see different types of tracks and you have to see which trains are moving on that track. That is very important. And next you have to see what is this Vande Bharat Express. And you have to see especially speed of this. Speed is 160 kmph. But the problem here is to that speed, actually to move on that speed on our existing railway tracks, it is not suitable. Because whatever the tracks that we laid, that is very, very old enough. So because of this, we are not getting the proper potential after commissioning of this Vande Bharat Express in our railways. That is the one problem. And now this article is saying that recently one study had been done. And this study said that Vande Bharat Express is not having that much safety, even if the cattle are moving. So it is not protecting them. Okay, that is the thing which is there in the news. And actually why this study had been done? Because if you are reading newspaper from past 6 to 8 months, so like 4 to 5 times accidents, train accidents was in news. And at that time we discussed about Kavach, which is a defense system of the railways. Okay. So because of this, on this Vande Bharat Express, which had been recently commissioned into our railways, so this study had been done and finally it gave the report. So you have to see about in detail report of the present study. And apart from that, you have to see about what is a way forward or Like what are the recommendations which is given by this so and so study? Because whenever you're writing any answer regarding this challenges of railways, so what are the recommendations given here? You can directly copy paste that recommendations according to so and so report. These are the recommendations given, and you have to underline that name of the report. Then that is called as your value addition, guys. So for that only you have to read the newspaper. Okay, now let us see this article clearly. So recent report by, make a note, Commissioner of Railway Safety outlines. So recently one report which had been released, that is Commissioner of Railway Safety outlines, which said that we have to take certain measures to address the vulnerabilities in the operations of high-speed trains. So actually in our India we have certain express like Shatabdi Express, and now we have Vande Bharat Express. It is a very high-speed trains. So Vande Bharat Express, it is a flagship train of our Indian Railways. Now it is facing significant security concerns. For example, it is having more vulnerable to accidents, particularly from cattle. You know, if you are from villages and if you have seen this railway tracks, so normally there is no guard for our railway tracks. So vehicles directly moving on this railway tracks, and even in many movies also they depict the scenes like train is moving, two trains are coming, and that one car will be going like that, or one bike will be going that, so like that. And even in some movies, the people who will be even running and they will be catching the train like that. That means in the railway tracks, if you see normally, so we don't have the proper protection. So even people are moving with knowing that if they hit with the train, they can't live, they can't survive. So what about this cattle? Cattle will be going like that only, right? So that is the one important problem in India, especially because of this cattle run over also, it may susceptible to accidents. So why? Because if you are comparing with traditional railways and this Vande Bharat Express, the weight of this train is obviously less. So because of this, sometimes if this kind of accidents will happen, it may leads to the major accident. That is the thing which mainly said here. So now let us see some facts regarding this article. So actually this report is saying that Vande Bharat trains have weak defense against cattle run overs. So because of this, at that high speed, it will lead to the major accidents, the first important point. And next one is, this report calls for fencing to prevent cattle and as well as human trespassing. So wherever the crossings are there, like vehicles crossing or like cattle crossing everywhere, so we have to go for proper fencing so that we can eliminate the level crossing gates. And next one here is, if you're comparing with that traditional railways, traditional trains, Vande Bharat weight is lighter. So because of this, we have to focus on the proper safety of the people who are moving or who are using these railways. And next, actually this report, it is also saying some suggestions like deployment of railway protection force personnel for regular patrolling. Regular patrolling is very important to manage identified risk. And especially we have certain gates. So normally whenever the train is going, so the gates will be closed, and whenever there is no movement of train, the gates will be open. So most of the times there is no security guard there. So we have to use protection force in that railway gates also. That's the thing which mainly set. And the speed here is 160 kmph, that is 160 kilometers per hour. Or sometimes it is also higher. And we are operating with that speed in India. And now let us see the next article. Title says India, European Union can collaborate on space policy, says NY. Okay, so let us see some history, guys. It is talking about space policy. So what is there in our space? We have galaxies, we have planets, we have stars, we have celestial bodies, everything which comes under the space, right? So if you take our Milky Way galaxy, our sun and solar system is part of Milky Way galaxy. So here we have sun. This is our sun, for example. This is Mercury. This is Venus. This is Earth. After Earth we have Mars. and this is called as AB, asteroid belt, and here we have big planets. So we are on this planet Earth, right? So we are here. So from here, what we are doing, we are launching lots of satellites around the Earth orbits. Okay, around the Earth in the different orbits. For example, we have low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and higher Earth orbit. In these orbits, what we are doing, we are launching more and more satellites. Not only India, but even every country, most of the developed and developing countries, they are launching lots of satellites. For what? For GPS, for good navigation, for communication, for talking messages, Skype, video calls, everything. And even for protection, we have military satellites, right? So here we are launching lots of satellites, and even to know about the Earth, to know about the vulnerabilities, to detect about the disasters that are going to come. So we are launching lots of satellites. So what happens? So what is the lifespan of that satellite? So will it be having the full lifetime? No, it will be working for example, 2 years, or it may be like 10 years or 15 years. It may be. And not only satellites we are launching, and each and every country is also planning what? Space station. So we have international space station of different countries, and even India is also planning our own space station, name called as Bharatiya Antariksh Station, right? That means we are not only creating debris on our surface of Earth, but we are also trying to create. Already we created lots of debris even in the space. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So if you take on our Earth surface, litter we are throwing here and there, waste here we are throwing here and there, and plastic, yes, we are creating a havoc on our Earth surface. Not only this, because of this launching of satellites, launching of different missions, everything, we are also creating this debris in the space, and this debris is called as space debris. Okay, so is that harmful for our Earth or not? Because if they are not rotating in their orbits clearly, then what happens? It will be fall under the gravitational pull of Earth. Whenever it falls under the gravitational pull of Earth, what happens? It will come and fall on the Earth's surface. Is that good? It will again cause a huge disaster, right? And even not only we are sending the satellite, so recently we came up with one technology called as ASAT, anti-satellite technology. So what is anti-satellite technology is nothing but, if you consider this as Earth's surface, we are launching a rocket and we are launching a missile from here, and it will be attacking the satellite which is present in the space. That kind of technology we have, and India is also having that anti-sat or ASAT technology, which is hitting the satellite. For what? For defense purpose, for national security purpose. We are shooting down that satellite which is present. We're not only throwing bombs on their surface, we're not only throwing this or using this hydrogen bombs or nuclear bombs now. Even we have the technology to shut down the satellite which is present somewhere in the space. That is called as ASAT. So now, here this article is saying that India and European Union, they are coming up with a space policy. So in this space policy, they are talking about space debris, and as well as they are talking about anti-sat or ASAT. So why this ASAT? Why they are talking about this? So whenever we are shutting down of any satellite, then what happens? Will it works? No. That will furthermore create space debris. So because of this, we are going to have a space policy soon. Okay, so this is some background that you have to know, guys. Now let us see about this ASAT or anti-satellite technology. It is very important, and even you can get a prelims-based question from here, guys. Okay, now let us see this anti-satellite weapons or ASAT. So anti-satellite technology, it refers to the capability to intercept or disable or destroy satellites in orbit. And in which orbit we can destroy them? In low Earth orbits. In low Earth orbits, whenever the satellites are moving, we can intercept them, we can disable them, and we can even destroy them. That technology is called as anti-satellite technology. So for what is the criteria for what purpose we made this? It is primarily developed for defense and as well as for strategy for national security purpose. We are using this technology. And if you see what is the need of this ASAT technology, the first one here is for national security. ASAT weapons can be developed with the goal of protecting national security interest. For example, to safeguard our critical infrastructure or for military communications and even for intelligence gathering, etc. We can rely on these satellites. And this one is we can also destroy retired satellites. So if satellites are not working, if it had been filled, if it is just moving in that orbit without any purpose, we have to recall it, or like we have to dismantle it, right? So for that purpose also we can use this. And this one is for deterrence purpose. Okay. For example, if there is one enemy country which is using satellite to gather information of our country, like that means for deterrence also we can use this anti-sat technology. And this one is for technological advancement. Obviously, we have to use this. So these are the things that you have to remember, guys. And now let us see the next article. 2 cheetahs moved to new home in Madhya Pradesh. So actually cheetahs, they were extinct in India. Especially during medieval times, at that time, this rajas, kings, they went for this tiger safaris. And this was one sport they mainly used during that time. And because of this, cheetahs were extinct in India. And finally, we are coming up with this project called as Cheetah Reintroduction Project. So we are bringing cheetahs, African cheetahs from Africa, South Africa and Namibia, and we released it into one national park called as Kuno National Park, Kuno, Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. And now what happened from there? We are taking 2 cheetahs and we are introducing into another area. So make a note of that. So write this Project Cheetah. Project Cheetah. So in this 20 cheetahs introduced into Kuno National Park, which is located in MP. And from here now, 2 are shifted to Gandhi Sagar. From here, 2 are shifted to Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, and it is also located in MP. And just see about these concepts, guys. After this class, see about International Big Cat Alliance. So in this, you have to see which are the big cats included here and how many are there in India. Very important. And next, you have to see about what is this Project Cheetah and why government came up with this reintroduction project. Okay, and you have to see about what is the role of cheetah. What is the role of cheetah in ecosystem? In ecosystem. Okay, see that things. And now let us see the next article, guys. Title says, ISRO satellites forecast wheat production, assesses crop condition. So whenever you are writing any essay or any answer regarding uses of satellites, can you add this article? Yes, by using that so-and-so satellite, ISRO forecasted wheat production in Rabi season in India. And this is exactly matching with the data. Okay. So here this article is important from your GS paper 3 under Science and Technology, guys. So where exactly you can use this? You can use in space technology applications. So you can add this topic under applications of space technology or application of satellites. So now let us see this article clearly. So this article is saying that ISRO utilized satellite technology and finally it estimated the wheat production in India during Rabi seasons. So that too in 8 states. Okay, and they used which technology? So they used comprehensive remote sensing observation on crop progress, right? Somewhere, CROP. So they used this crop framework and they identified estimation. They estimated this wheat production in our country. So here, how can you expect a question? Recently, CROP framework is in use. For what it is used? For what it is used? For estimation of wheat production in the country in 8 states. So like that also you may get a very simple question near UPSC, guys. But you have to be very much cautious about what is happening around. Okay, and next one here is which satellite sources are used. Very important, write down somewhere. EOS, that is Earth Observation Satellite 4. And next one is Earth Observation Satellite 6 and Resource Sat 2A. So these are the satellite informations they used. And which states they did this study? In UP, MP, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Is there any southern states? No. Why? Because in southern states, will we go for growing of wheat? No, wheat is a winter crop which will be grown in the northern part. So that is a basic thing that you have to remember. Okay, so that is the thing. And see this article, and it is also very, very important. So title says, scientists find green way to recycle toxic perovskite solar cells. So you may get question like this. Recently, perovskite is in news. What it is? Perovskite is nothing but it is used for making of solar panels. Okay, so very important. Please make a note somewhere this word. So if you see the gist of this article, what it is saying is perovskite crystals they used in making of solar panels. Why it is harmful? Because it is having toxic elements like lead. And actually it is becoming a very, very big problem for the recycling of this because of having of this lead. So actually now researchers they find a solution for this problem and they are going to use some water based. Okay. So they are going for dissolving and recycling of this lead containing perovskite layer with water so that we can overcome this challenge. So because of using of this water-based recycling solution, so we can also go for recycling it and as well as we can also reuse that. So that is the one important advantage of this. That is the thing, nothing more. So you may expect prelims-based question but not mains here for sure. And now let us see the next article, guys. See here, title says, tackle heat waves with short and long-term measures. So what is the keyword? Keyword is heat wave. And already summer had been started and you will be getting this kind of articles till the end of May, guys. So if you are making notes in a one go, then your work is done. There is no need of revising all those things. Okay, try to make the notes on the heat waves today after the class. So what are these heat waves? So I will tell you what you have to make the notes. So you have to give the title heat waves and you have to see about definition of this heat waves. And this definition will be changing if you are saying hills, plains and coastal areas. Okay, 3 things that you have to see under this definition. And you have to see what are the causes of this heat waves. And in our country, which areas are more vulnerable to these heat waves. And even you have to make a note of deaths of heat waves in India. And next you have to see how we can use science and technology to address this problem. And what are the measures we can take. So try to note down all these points after once your class is done. Okay. And next, now let us see this article clearly. So this article is saying that on March 15, 2025, India experienced the severe heat wave of the year. Okay, so because of this is the news. So actually there are many reports which are saying that there will be increased frequency and intensity of heat waves in our country. So India is going to face that dual challenge because whenever there is increasing of heat, what happens? There will be increasing of energy demands. And on the other side, there will be for sure impact on the health of the people. And now what government need to do? So government need to come up with climate resilient infrastructure. That means nothing but we have to increase our technology to address this climate change problem. So in this way, we are going to have the dual impact. And not only that, whenever there is increasing of heat, will the productivity of people will be increased or decreased? So will the people work for the long hours? No, because mostly the Indian workers, they are working in informal sector. They're not sitting in the office under the AC like that. So they will be working in the construction areas, they will be working on the roadside, right? So because of this, because of the heat, obviously there will be decreasing of their productivity. Okay, so because of this, what happens? We'll be having impact on the health, not only health, but even socio-economic dynamics will be getting changed. So now government need to prioritize climate resilient infrastructure to mitigate these issues effectively. This is very, very important. And next one here is because of increasing of heat, what happened? So if you compare the outside heat and our body's heat, which will be low, our body heat will be low compared to that of outside temperature. So because of this, what happens? Our body will be suffering or struggles for dissipating of heat to maintain the balance with outside heat. So because of this, what happened? There will be increasing of sweat mechanism. So why the sweat is increasing? Your body will be trying to adjust to that so and so temperature. And even what happens whenever the more amount of sweat which is coming means in your body the water content will be reduced. That means nothing but you will be getting dehydration. So because of dehydration, what happens? Your blood will be thickens. In the blood, the water content will be reduced. So because of this, will it move freely? Have you ever heard if there is a jam, semi-solid thing, and if you are taking juice, which will move fastly? Water or juice will be moving very fastly compared to that of this semi-solid. So your body blood will not move fastly. So that whatever the cells which are present in your body will be not getting proper amount of oxygen. That will lead to cell death. Okay, so because of this, in extreme heat, you will be getting sunstroke. So because of this sunstroke and heat waves, also many people will be dying because of water content in your body will be reduced, especially in your blood, it will be reduced and it will become very, very thick, it will not move. So that conditions you will be also get sometimes stroke. Okay, and next one here is because of this heat, there are also economic implications. What are those economic implications? There is decreasing of labor productivity. Whenever labor they are not working minimum 8 hours or 6 hours, then what happens? So will we produce the things? No. So because of this, labor productivity will be reduced and overall economic growth will be decreased. Okay, and what's the problem in India is most of the workers are outdoor work renders. So they are susceptible for this adverse effect of rising temperatures. And especially there will be disproportionate impact on women for sure because of gender unequal society. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said. And now let us see the next article. So this is the article. It is about diving into SC verdict on governor. So recently we discussed about this article 200, article 163. Yes or no? I said you have to make a note on that. The same thing which came. It is about Supreme Court judgment on the power of governor to pass the bills. And I gave detail like what is the time frame, 1 month time frame when and 3 months time frame when. Just revise that. Nothing more about this. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title? Title says IMEC work on track despite conflict, says mystery ahead of PM Saudi trip. So we are not focusing on this. Once our Prime Minister went to that trip, after coming back, we will be getting the details of what he did there, what were the discussions, agreements, everything. But just bother about what is IMEC. It is very, very important. Keep star mark. IMEC. And it is important from your geography and as well as from international relations point of view. IMEC, it is a multimodal connectivity initiative. It is a connectivity initiative. For what? For trade, for transport, for economic cooperation. Between which countries? India is there, Middle East is there, and Europe. India wants to connect this Europe through this via Middle East. This project or corridor is called as IMEC or IMEEC corridor. Very, very important. And actually it was officially launched through Memorandum of Understanding, and this agreement which had been signed by India, European Union, France, Germany, Italy, Saudi Arabia, UAE and US. Very, very important. And it is a part of border partnership for global infrastructure investment also. And if you see here, in this IMEC, we have two corridors. First one is Eastern Corridor, next one is Northern Corridor. So in the Eastern Corridor, we will be connecting India to Gulf. And the Northern Corridor from Gulf to, we are connecting Europe. Okay, so that's the thing, and just try to see the map of it. So these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindi newspaper. So by this I'm concluding, guys. And if you like this class, please hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy.